Yeah, as an intro, I'm really excited to be doing this webinar with Vincent. It's a company called Listings to Leads, and I discovered them through other top producers who are using it. One of the main, there's plenty of main benefits, but what I really liked about it was it is such a pain in the butt for real estate agents to have to create landing pages and single property websites and all the marketing materials. It's like a never-ending process. So with this, you guys have a really cool tool box. Like it's kind of plug and play. You've already got stuff that's done for the agents that they can just leverage as soon as they make an account. But you also have the ability that when you guys load your information, it gets syndicated across the other marketing materials. Um, you'll see what I mean in just a second. So Vince is one of the leaders at the company. He's going to be sharing with us a product demo showing us all the ways that this company helps real estate agents leverage their listings to get more leads. So yeah, if you can, would you be able to just take us through and show us what you guys have?
Yeah, let's jump in. So just as a, FYI, Dan has given you all, I think in the chat panel here, I'm sure he can give it to you again, you have a link that is specific for working through Dan, and you get a longer trial. You get like a 3-week free trial. But in the trial, all the tools that I'm going to show you are part of the system. So I'm going to click login at the top right and log into my little demo account. Just so you know, my demo account, I'm not a real realtor, so some of these things are not going to look like yours, but everything can be configured to you. As soon as you get in, you're kind of on our dashboard. And I want to point out a couple of things here. When you sign up, our support team will set up the basics on your account. They'll set up your profile. If we have a way to automatically sweep your listings in, we will connect that. Then down here is a button that says Facebook advertising. And we are, I think, really a leader in Facebook advertising. Facebook advertising has been around for about 3 years. We've been on it since it began. And there are a number of companies out there with tools that look like our landing pages and are similar. But I do think that people are getting the best results from our strategy and from all the tools that we create. And I'm going to show you those in a second. As Dan mentioned, we also have a toolkit for open house lead generation. So when you save an open house inside the platform, we give you a handful of tools for social media, for blogs, for email, even an app that you can load up in your laptop or your tablet at the open house and capture leads that way too. And then of course there's a listing presentation here at the bottom. So I'm going to click into the listing presentation. Dan mentioned it earlier. It is in PowerPoint and it's a pretty simple document. It's not very sexy, and I think that's kind of that's kind of a little bit like what we are like at Listings to Leads. Not necessarily the sexiest platform, but we are, I think, the best platform in capturing leads. So when you get to this listing presentation button, there's just a ton to read. And if you go to the bottom, there's this little weird box that says download it here. Click here to download the listing presentation. I'm going to open it up, and I think the reason I want you to know it's here, Dan likes it. And I think one thing is it'll just start the conversation off to give you a glimpse at what some of these tools look like, right? So it's just very simple. Here's your online marketing plan. You put your logo up here, and then we talk about kind of our philosophy is online marketing of listings. Really the goal is to get leads, not just to be on the internet, but to actually have people we can interact with. And then the next page is we can go through and talk about all the things we have. Just listed marketing, single property websites, virtual tours, e-flyers, Facebook, IVR, text messaging, all kinds of stuff. Then this is just a wide shot of the internet. Your listings show up everywhere, right? But for us, and this starts to point in.
Now what that means is when an agent loads their listing through your platform, and I'm sure there's a button somewhere, it'll get syndicated to all those other platforms.
That is not correct. I'm sorry, Dan.
Okay.
This is just a general page about real estate marketing in general. Usually when an agent puts a listing in the MLS is already syndicating it out. And so this is just like a general page because all realtors sort of work with this. You can certainly delete the page, but we just put it there as just, to help agents.
True. Okay, good.
Yeah. But this is our stuff, right? At this point, we start talking about the tools that Listings to Leads provides, which is Craigslist advertising with call to actions. Now, you may not be aware of this, but Craigslist is the number 13th website in the country. Even though real estate folks walked away from it 2 to 3 years ago, it is still a high traffic area, so our clients like to be there. And I'll show you where you do that. We auto-generate multiple virtual tours Some are branded, some are not branded, some are high quality based on what quality of photos you get in. And so we just talk about that, right? And as you can see, this page is not showing there's not a lot of verbiage. This is meant for you to have a conversation and just to show them large graphics. These are the tools I create for you when we work together. I have a single property website. You can read through that or just give your version of it. We have listing e-flyers, right? So we do a lot of e-flyer marketing, and we want to market your home and get it done. We have a whole series of tools for open house. And then we also, this is speaking a little bit about Google, right? Our tools can many times be on Google page one, but we also auto upload to YouTube for you as a real estate agent. So your listings get to YouTube. YouTube is owned by Google, and your YouTube videos are usually on page one of Google. So that's kind of what that page speaks to. This speaks about blogs, and I'll show you where the blog tools are. You may not do blogging at all, or you may use one or two areas. So you can delete these as needed, but some agents do. Realtown is a real estate WordPress platform. Active Rain is a massive real estate advertising blog. And then, of course, WordPress. We actually, for every one of you, set up a free WordPress account, okay? And we brand it to you, and we post every one of your listings automatically to WordPress. You should probably want to know that and speak to that, because WordPress is favored by Google, and it's basically a unique little web page on the internet, separate from the single property website, but it's all designed to capture leads for you.
Hey, that's a really good idea. So thinking from an agent's perspective, I know they just grind their teeth when they do all this hard work to get a listing, they get it put on the market, they Google search the address, and a million other people are ahead of them on their own listing. If you guys took an exclusive listing before it hit the MLS, did it through this system, you would be the first one to have that address as being there. So you would have like a week-long head start. And then you go live on the MLS. That would give you a real competitive advantage.
Yeah, that's definitely true. I'll show you where our clients do coming soon marketing inside of our platform. Basically, there's a little bit of manual there because you can't have it in the MLS yet.
You have to upload it.
Yeah. And then the next page is mobile marketing. All of our tools are mobile, designed for mobile optimized, tested on both the Apple platform and Android. And you should be able to speak to that, right? You probably can, but more than half the people in the country have smartphones. Are your marketing tools ready for that? There are a lot of companies that compete with us, large brand companies that do not have their stuff optimized for mobile. Then there's a page here on social media, and I'll show you where you share to social media. And our clients, absolutely, it's one of the things people absolutely love about us is kind of our strategy and knowledge and value that we create for both the homeowners and the agents regarding social media. Listing landing page. This is it's a really beautiful kind of big web page. Not a lot of information on it, but it's a good looking tool. And we designed this specifically for Facebook advertising because there are a lot of things that people will put on Facebook as a realtor, right? Maybe they'll put on a YouTube video, they'll put on, here's my home over on Zillow, or here's my home on the MLS, but it's not really a good looking page. I'll show you what the listing landing page looks like, and it really just pops. It really just looks awesome, and it's designed to capture leads. Then the last page says, we also have a traffic report. And that's kind of the point of that. So you can download this, you can click edit and enable editing and change your logo, and all the instructions on how to do that, on how to present the listing and also how to change the logo are right here on this page. And there's even a really cool thing here. Some of our clients use our text IVR feature, which is like 800 call capture. And they get some pretty awesome results, and they integrate that in their listing presentation, and it just makes you look like a tech powerhouse. So we haven't even dove into the system yet, but you got to kind of know these things, right?
That stat page, by the way, guys, would be really good for you if you need to give your clients a weekly feedback. I know in our local market it's really hot here, but I have clients, like we have people on this webinar across both countries, Canada and the States, so it's not as hot everywhere. So if you live in a market and work in a market that homes aren't selling right away, you could use that stat page as a way of giving your clients feedback to be like, hey, I know there's been no showings this week, but look how many times we had it shown online. And then you could use that as positioning for price restructure.
Exactly. And that's why a lot of our clients love that. There is a section where you can actually get that auto-generated on a weekly basis. One other thing before we dive into the system, there's a button here that says click to join the Listings to Leads Mastermind group. And Dan mentioned we're not going to dive deep into Facebook, how to run an ad. We are going to talk, I am going to show you the kinds of tools that you need to use and where to get them, right? But one thing, I think in running ads on Facebook, we certainly have a strategy of how to do it. I'm going to describe that to you. But the one thing is also how you actually write the ad is a big thing. To run an ad on Facebook is probably the series of clicking 5 to 10 buttons on Facebook. We have tutorials on that. I'm sure Dan's probably trained you on that. But that's easy knowledge to get.
That is what you guys, by the way, you guys have amazing documentation on every element, even things that aren't, like you guys document your tools, but you also document how to leverage the tools through things. It's almost like you have your own group coaching programs. If you become a client, yeah, it's true.
We do. We have live training every Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. And Monday, we cover our core tools. How do I market my listings? What are the, what do I do with a single property website? How do I get my virtual tour? How do I present these? Tuesday is Facebook advertising. And let me tell you, Facebook advertising changes, I think, about every 48 hours. They are like us. They're turning some knob here, and I've got clients in Florida and I got clients in Washington. They're looking at 2 different interfaces because Facebook is always testing. And another important thing about Facebook is what worked 6 months ago is not working as effectively today. And what's working today in Facebook is being described all the time in our mastermind group, right? People are saying, I got all these leads. How do I work with them? This is our live mastermind group right now, right? And so a lot of our clients are sharing great information. And that's why I want to point that out to you, that it's there, okay? You can click this button and join it. You don't have to be a client to join it. You can just join it. But that's our mastermind group. It is an awesome group of people just sharing top tips of how to really maximize lead generation in general, but also specifically Facebook. So now let's look at the tools. I'm going to go to listings, okay? And I'm going to show you what our listing dashboard looks like. And before, I kind of forgot to finish my sentence, which happens occasionally. Every Monday, we talk about our core tools. Every Tuesday, we talk about Facebook advertising. And every Thursday, we have a class on landing pages. And I'm going to show you landing pages in a minute. But those are very effective tools to use on Facebook advertising and even in print advertising. A landing page is a simple 1, 2, or 3 page website, which is offering a little bit of information to a consumer in return for contact information. And these have been really successful lately in advertising. So we are always adding new ones there, and that's really, we discuss those on Thursdays. So after you get used to us, I would really highly recommend you spend a Tuesday and a Thursday with us at least once a month, just to see what's happening and what's new and what's working. So this is our listings page, and I kind of want to quickly just go over what we do, right? We have a partnership with ListHub. We typically get our clients' listings in automatically, but if we don't get them in automatically, there's some other ways of getting them in. And then at that point, we create a single property website, a virtual tour. We auto-post to YouTube. We auto-post to WordPress. We give you an e-flyer campaign from just listed to open house to under contract, maybe price reduce, and of course just sold.
Oh, that campaign, by the way, guys, when you open it up, you could just copy and paste, obviously email it, but you could also just use that as a posting on Facebook.
Yeah, and right here, I'm going to show them all to you. I'm just kind of going high level so you can get a high level of what we're doing.
Yeah.
With that same campaign, we also do on Facebook, as Dan just said. So, and those tools get emailed to you automatically. So if you just open your email and follow the instructions they give you, you start using them. Then the listing landing page, which I mentioned is in the listing presentation, we email that to you as well, and you can use that as you see fit. If any of you are bloggers, if you've already got a blog out there or you want to start using ours, you can click in here, and there are all kinds of tools in here, from virtual tours to open houses or just flyers. on that home. They're all branded. They're all designed to capture leads. And then over here is a Craigslist posting tool. When you open it, it just opens this up and it says click here to see how it works. It's a little tutorial. But what it's going to tell you is click on this little blue link and I don't know if you can see, it's gray. You can drag it and drop it in your toolbar, in your bookmark bar. I have it up there and all of my listings are here in my account. So if I want to go to open up a Craigslist page and open this up, I can just copy and paste the whole thing over to Craigslist. And that's really what that is.
I don't know why people aren't leveraging Craigslist in Canada, Kijiji. It's free. I mean, you might as well.
Well, so in Canada, Kijiji has more traffic.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's why Craigslist. But that being said, in some of the bigger areas in Canada, there is a lot of traffic there, and people like the Craigslist platform, meaning consumers like it, and that's they're just used to it and they go there. So if you go look at your local market and Craigslist has go look at the homes for sale, and if there are no homes for sale, then it's probably not a good place. But I can tell you, because we work with people around the country. On the U.S. side, we work with people in Canada too. But in the U.S., for instance, in a place like San Jose, California, there used to be over 1,000 listings would hit Craigslist every day. And actually, we have a client down in Naples, Florida. And I remember down there was like 700 listings every day would hit Craigslist, right? All these agents. Then Craigslist whipped their website around and they made it more challenging for realtors. And I'd say 95% of all realtors in the U.S. left Craigslist, but the consumers went nowhere. It is still the number 13th trafficked website in the country. So they are there. And our clients who recognize that are still posting there and they're getting great leads. I'll show you an awesome tool that it's a tool that's available to all of you that our client uses. I'll even show it to you what it looks like. And he's getting, in the days when, the reason I found out about him is because I set up the offices. Their manager called me and said, this guy is generating 50 leads every day on Craigslist. And I couldn't believe it, especially because Craigslist had changed so dramatically. But I'll show you the tool and I'll explain to you how it all works. But here, all these tools get automatically sent to you. So let's just imagine ListHub sends over the listing. We send you one email, and on that email, it's going to have a single property website. It's going to have your office logo. It's going to have your contact info. It's going to have the status. It could be for sale. It could be open house. It could be just sold. And then, of course, there's lead capture. I don't know if you can see this, but automatically a lead form popped up to suggest, hey, would you like to, stay on top of this house?
Nice.
That lead.
Those work amazingly. Those pop-ups, they work. They really, really do work. I'm getting 8% of all traffic right now is entering their info based on a pop-up.
Yeah, and I'm going to show you a couple of pop-ups in a minute, because our tools, if you're looking at it, obviously it's designed to capture leads. I think if you look at a lot of real estate advertising, there is no call to action or lead capture other than call me or email me. That's what most real estate advertising is based on. And that's really not what consumers want to do. But they will fill out a form to get more information and stay on top of this. But many people, the majority of people that see your homes for sale anywhere on the internet, do not want to buy that particular home. They might click on it because they're interested in real estate, but maybe it's two-story, maybe it's the wrong color, maybe there's no yard, or maybe there is a yard. Who knows why? But if they clicked on it, you know that there's a reason they're on it. And one of the key things about listings to leads is we have on the side of our tools all these things called lead generation links. So if this home is in Granite Bay, I should have a link that says Granite Bay homes for sale. Maybe I'd have a link that says Granite Bay homes from 3 to 500. Or I have search all homes. And these people will click through and get off of our tools, off of our listings to leads tools, to your website, right? And if hopefully your website is showing the kinds of properties the consumer is looking for, and ideally we'll prompt them to register and you get a buyer lead on your site too. So we don't lose those people, right? And that's a single property website. This is automatically emailed.
Before you leave this, there was a question, that logo they asked, is it only the office logo or it can be the agent's logo?
It can be the agent's logo.
Okay, cool.
It'll be set up right on your webpage. Yeah, there's a place, if we go here into listings to leads, when you sign up, our support team will actually look for a logo from you. They'll probably look for your office logo. But you can click up here where it says lead links and logos. And the lead links are those side links that I was pointing out that are pointing to your website.
Oh, cool.
You can create as many of those as you want.
Yep.
Right. You could say Toronto Homes or whatever you want.
So what's neat is once you guys set that up, it'll be there for all the future listings. It just auto pulls that info.
Yeah. So as in that automation, you see this link here. It says Cape Marco Homes for Sale.
Yeah.
It's pointing to my Cape Marco page, but right here, I have chosen Marco Island. And what this is telling Listings to Lead system is the next time a listing comes into Marco Island, automatically give it that link, that Cape Marco, and point them to there. So that will automatically be a side link on my properties. So the automation is there. It won't all work day one because you got to kind of set it up. But then in the future, if I've always got listings in Philadelphia and the Fairmont neighborhood is a place where I really want to build my business, I might say anytime there's a property in Philly, make sure there's a link that says Fairmont Homes for Sale, because that's like the high-end properties. That's where I want to build my business. And that's just sort of, you can do that right here. But also in this section is a button that says edit banner and logo. And this is just answers that logo question. You can remove whatever logo we put here and put your banner there.
Cool.
Yeah. So as I was saying, what's automatically happening? Your listing hits the system. We automatically send you a single property website. At the same time, we also send you a virtual tour. Now, you won't have to click this button here and log in and get it. We'll already create it and we'll email it to you. And this is just a virtual tour. It's a pan and zoom virtual tour. If any of you use, what do you call them, videographers, and you can actually take a video file and snap it in there. You can see here that this is coming soon. So my message on my lead capture form is a different message, right? Schedule a showing before everybody else sees this. And that's really the key, is because our tools can capture leads, our clients start to realize we should be using this multiple times. And there are multiple times to get in front of the market for just one listing. Obviously, coming soon is different from just listed, and definitely open house is a different message. And under contract or just sold, totally different lead capture forms, all designed to capture leads at that particular moment in the stage of that. So this is the virtual tour, and you should basically copy this link. We email it to you automatically, and put it out on Zillow and Trulia. If you're with KW, put it in KWLS. If you're with any of the Realogy brands, put it in Crest. They will syndicate that out. And otherwise, your home is seen on Zillow and Trulia, which many times it is. If people are interested in your property, they're going to click on a virtual tour. And as you can see from our virtual tour, it's designed to capture leads for you. It's designed to send people back to you. If a lead gets captured on Zillow, I'm sure you've heard, that lead might get sent to you and 3 other agents, right? Or some ridiculous story like that I don't even want to get into. But our tools only send leads to you, okay? Now, there's also another really cool tool, and this makes us different from all of the real estate advertising companies, and that is our eFlyer and Facebook stuff. And the first thing that when we get the listing, we send you this tool. We call it a seller engagement email. It's going to have your banner, a few images of the home, and it's going to say, here's everything we're doing to market your home. And it's almost like a follow-up to the listing presentation. We're ready for Facebook, we're ready for email, we're ready for Google and WordPress and Craigslist, and there's my picture and there's my logo, right? And it's kind of a wordy piece. It's a long piece. It's not like a quick read. And we do that because we want not your agents, but your homeowners to be engaged and know that you're doing this. Because at this point, when you get that flyer, the virtual tour and the single property website and the listing landing page are all on top of it. It's all one email. And you can start working from just that email. And you could forward that to them and saying, here's everything I'm doing.
Oh, yeah, I forgot you guys do that. So it basically creates a toolkit for the seller to spread the word about their own property.
Yeah.
And it gives them all the different channels and all the different ways that they could do it. And it's already pre-made. It'll just it's basically copy and paste for them.
Correct. But it's also saying, we've already built all these tools for you.
Yeah.
It's not saying Listings to Leads has done it. It's saying you and your company have done it.
Yeah.
And that's really the beauty of that. So as we mentioned when I was doing that high level overview of the stuff, I said we create all these tools, right? We create e-flyers and stuff like this. And I want you to understand, again, the uniqueness of listings to leads. And this is what our e-flyer looks like. It goes to you, it gives you a quick message, and it says, send this to your homeowner. And there's a pre-written message, and it's from the homeowner to their friends. And it's saying, we've hired Vincent Mays at LDL Realty, that would be you, to help us sell our home. And this is our virtual tour. If you could forward it to many people, we'd really appreciate it. So we're trying to create a viral email. Why? Because everything in it is going to help sell their home. And every little link in here, from follow this home to Lafayette Homes for Sale and what is your home worth, these are all designed to capture leads for you. Okay? And obviously, the more leads you have, the quicker you're going to be selling any properties. So we have an e-flyer campaign from just listed to virtual tour to open house and to just sold. And at the same time, when we do that, we also give you a Facebook ad. And so you always, when it's just listed, you get a just listed e-flyer and a just listed Facebook ad. So let's look at the just sold stuff, because it starts to resonate a lot more for agents when they see what this looks like as just sold. This is our just sold single property website. And when you change the status and listings to leads so that it's sold, it's going to have very similar look, right? It's my single property website, but now it says just sold. And if you put this out on the market, people who click on it many times are people that are thinking of selling their home. And notice that the lead capture form has now completely changed. It's saying, hey, do you want the closing price? Or do you just want your home value right now? Put in your address. So these just sold single property websites are meant to capture listings for you.
Oh man, when I would hands down do a Facebook ad targeting the postal code or zip code, depending where you are. When a home sells, take this link and market it around just for a week.
Exactly. And say, hey, and say, I want everybody within a 10-mile radius to know that I have, one, sold a home.
I would almost I would get up my office permission. I would call the agents and say, hey, can I get permission to advertise your listing? And do it for every sold that I had the ability to.
Because that's a key for homeowners. They want to know who can sell a home, right? And if you're able to convey that, for a couple bucks on Facebook and capture leads, that's just awesome. So I was showing you that's what the single property website does, but I really brought you to the just sold because I wanted to show you what the free marketing happens, and see if I can see that. I lost my place. For Facebook. So remember I said we send you an e-flyer, but we also send you a Facebook ad. And I'm hoping that we change the look of this, especially because we send you an automatic e-flyer. But I want you to see it because it looks like this. And this it's not very exciting looking to me, right? Mm-hmm. But I want you to know what this is, because this should show up in your email automatically as soon as you change the status to sold. And you want your client to copy this, what is between the red lines, and put it on their Facebook wall. Like Dan said, you're going to definitely take our tool and go boost it up on Facebook, right? But what happens when your client goes and puts it on their page, right? It looks like this. Give me a second. I'm going to paste what I copied from the e-flyer that was automatically generated, and it's going to look like this. Okay? And the point of this is this is not coming from your real estate business page or your personal Facebook page. It's coming from your client and all of their hundreds of friends on Facebook, their colleagues, their families, all the people that you want referrals from. They're probably communicating with those folks on Facebook. And now they're looking at an ad that says, we sold our home and you are great, and here's your phone number and email.
That's amazing.
Okay. And when somebody clicks on it, what pops up but our just sold single property website? And what pops up in 3 seconds? A lead capture form with get your home value. Right. So that all automatically happens. Just take advantage of the tools.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the side of these are the things that we auto post to WordPress and stuff like that. I did forget to show you, and I want to show you our listing landing page. As I mentioned, a number of tools are emailed to you automatically. You get that long seller engagement email, and on the top is a virtual tour, a single property website, and this tool. This is designed specifically for Facebook because it's just got a big colorful picture of the home, and that's a different look for real estate advertising. Obviously, it's designed to capture a lead. That's the only thing it can do. You want to see information on this, get the price, give me your contact info, right? What happens when they fill that out? They click that orange button. They are dropped on the single property website, and we send you a lead, okay? That's all like automated stuff happening.
I love how it's automated. Like it just, you get a listing, the system knows, and boom, all this marketing material is created.
Yeah. It really makes you look like just a marketing powerhouse, and that's why our clients love it. And we got a lot of super tech savvy people who spend hours and hours every week doing and building what now happens automatically on our platform, and they absolutely love us for that. So I'm going to jump into the Facebook thing here so that we can talk about, how we, our view on it and how our clients get leads off of it. So Dan, I can tell that you definitely know how to target with Facebook. So I am not going to show you how to run an ad, but I do want to show you the tools and explain to you our position on it and why our clients succeed and do incredibly well with it. Okay. And they do it not just by running property valuation ads. That's probably the number one reason people come to us is I see that you've got these awesome home valuation pages, and I would love to get that on there. And they ignore 90% of our platform. They just go there, they find that, and they put it up. But our clients who follow our tutorials and our instructions, they learn that if you build your brand on Facebook, and then you complement that with seller lead generation ads, your seller lead gen will have higher volume of leads and deeper data and details in those leads because you've actually convinced these people that you're a professional in the space. So we talked about just listed single property websites and just sold. And we would also want you to do possibly open house, right? So let's create an open house, okay? I've got a property right here. How do I create an open house? Click this green button with an open door on it. And it'll drop you right here, and just choose the date. And I'm going to say it's going to be this Saturday, and I'm going to say it's 1 to 4, and I am just going to save that at the bottom of the page. Excuse me. And when I do, I'm going to get a bunch of emails. I'm going to get an email somewhere. I think I turned it off so that I don't get blasted with emails. Let's see here. Yeah, so that's not going to work. I want to show you the single property website. This now says open house. That makes sense. Okay. So, but the lead capture, as you can imagine, should pop up in 5 seconds. It's a totally different lead capture. It's meant to be sticky. It's meant to say, hey, this thing is happening real quick. Do you want to get involved? Okay. And that's the point of, again, our lead capture forms changing throughout its time. So the reason I wanted to show you the open house is there are a few instances that you should be marketing to tell people on Facebook you are a real estate professional. That is, if possible, coming soon. And what tools would you use? Either the single property website or the listing landing page. Now, Dan, you know how to target, but I recommend that you run one ad every week, at least one, for $5 a day for 3 to 4 days. So it's $15-20. This is really our strategy, and this gets into what we do.
That was the easiest way to make an open house landing page. all the agent had to do is put the date and time and hit save.
Yep, and boom, it's all cranked out. It's all done, and everything is designed to capture a lead, right? So we want, I think you want, as an agent, you want people to know you're a realtor, right? That's like number one. For $20, you can run an ad on Facebook with a tool that looks really great like this, capture a lead for you, and 1,000 to 2,000 people will see that, sometimes more if you're in high density areas. right? And obviously if they click on it, there's an opportunity for you to capture a lead. So the single property website, this is the listing landing page, or the single property website. These are the tools that we want our clients to use. Use them as the different statuses, maybe just listed, maybe open house, definitely just sold, right? And if you can, coming soon. And then you manage your budget. Don't break the bank here. But every time you run an ad, and you'll soon learn this, a few thousand people are going to start seeing that you're a realtor. And they're going to see, oh, this person sold a home here. This person sold they had an open house. So it starts to kind of trickle in on them, the consumers, these people you're targeting your zip codes, that you are a professional in this space. And that's the whole point of branding, right? That's why we used to have phone books. How do I find somebody, right? That you want people to know you're a realtor. And at that point, you go to our landing page section, or you do it in parallel. You go to our landing page section and you create, I think the place to start is Property Valuation Plus.
Oh, now we have to just specify, because some of these are US only, and I think the plus one, anyone that says plus, maybe?
Yes.
Okay, so I just want to point that out, because I know there are a bunch of Canadians on this, so unfortunately the plus won't work, but look at the tools, because eventually they might, but even if they don't, look at all the other landing pages surrounding that will work. So
let me point out, we have a number of tools on this page designed to capture seller leads. One is FSBO. Okay. 2 is what is your home worth? And then 3 is property valuation, right? So our first landing page for seller lead capture was this, what is your home worth? The second one was property valuation, and it looks very much like Property Valuation Plus. There's a different picture in the background, but it looks, the form capture and lead capture is the same. The difference in what you should know is that the word plus means it has a Zillow estimate built in. If it doesn't have plus in it, it means that the consumer is just going to get an auto response, thank you, and you're going to get their address. And that's how you start to go, okay, well, now you've maybe got some other resources to help them, get a valuation. But obviously you want to start the conversation with things like, have you done any improvements? Have you done a new kitchen? Anything like that, to really start to get, that's the conversion question. You got to tackle that. So here's Property Valuation 1. And what that means is it's only one page. It means that they've got to give you their email address on the first page. You might like this, you might not like this. Again, Property Valuation Plus 1 means there's a Zillow estimate, but they're not getting anything until you get their their contact information on the first page. So let's just, for the sake of walking through this, and there's one other page. Empty nesters are also designed for people thinking of selling their home, and we have one with Zillow and not. We also have nearby homes sold. Again, that is a plus, because that's what's showing. It's actually not giving an estimate, so it may not work in Canada, but it's showing the homes sold near you. And typically people who want to know that are homeowners. So let's just talk about how we create this, okay? We go to this section here, and it says type in a farm or sales area. I'm going to just type in Vancouver. Oh no, I'm going to type in Montreal, because I need to work on the French I don't know. And click save, right? And click save. And what this does, we got to give it a minute to do its thing. It's going to create a Montreal page under every one of these blue buttons. So I'm going to have a FSBO Montreal page. I'm going to have an expired listing Montreal page. And I'm going to have Property Valuation Plus and Property Valuation. Okay? And if you are you've got all these landing pages. So let's look at the FSBO real quickly, right? This is an old school landing page, still very effective, especially for FSBOs, because it's basically saying, if you're selling your home yourself, let me help you with the marketing. Click the tools that you want, and the next page is give me your address, and the next page is give me your contact info. And I think on average, a FSBO hands their listing to an agent in 2 months, at least in the US. So if you're the one doing the free marketing, you could very likely be the one handling that listing. In the US, the first page I recommend to everybody is Property Valuation Plus. I just think this is the best one to get started with. You can certainly test these other ones and see what are working better in your market, but that's where I tell everybody in the US. In Canada, I'd say Property Valuation. And I'm going to click on Property Valuation, and I'm going to tell you what do you got to change. Now, this is my property valuation in Lafayette.
Oh, wait,
Okay.
what were those options? I saw one step, two step.
I'll show you
Oh,
in
okay.
1 second.
Yeah.
Well, but I'm just gonna.
That's cool. I didn't know you guys had the option. I know what it means. The other people don't,
Yeah,
but that's awesome. Okay.
yeah, I will. So this is a picture of Lafayette, right? And you want to get a picture like this of your local market when you're doing this. The default looks, it's like a generic thing, but right here, there's 2-page version, there's 1-page version, there's auto fill in, right? And that means that the lead capture is on 1 page or 2 pages. Auto fill in means that we're using the IP address to give their address right in there, right? And right here it says, please click to allow. Now, I don't know if you see, ads like I see. Come on, didn't work. I tried to click the button. It's supposed to. There's a company that has landing pages where it auto fills in the address, and they're saying amazing technology, and that is this technology. It's the same thing, and it's cool. And I think how realtors always like the shiny new thing. It is a cool concept, and we built it because the technology is available. But there's also something that you got to think of is people are starting to get inherently concerned about their privacy on the internet. And if a page pops up and says, is this your address? That spooks some of those people. So yeah, it's cool. I don't know if it's the best thing, but that's what autofill is.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But what I do want to point out is that when you get the page, it looks like, I'm going to go to the 2-page version. It looks like this with our handy dandy suburban home neighborhood shot. And I don't think Montreal looks like that. And I don't think, Cincinnati looks like that. And I don't think Miami looks like that. So you got to take a couple minutes and instead of clicking view the page, click edit and go through and upload a big picture of your local market.
Yep.
Okay.
You could also not only do that for the city, but you could do that for the farming area or neighborhood. You could say North Oshawa.
Totally.
I would break it down like that and do like
Definitely.
5 different ads rotating through the city a week.
That is exactly right. Yeah. You can do this at definitely neighborhood level, and you should because, in Philly, I don't want to build my business in every part of Philly, but in a couple, definitely. That's where the real business is, and that's where the sales are. And so you target it and you build this platform to suit your business, right? There's one thing I wanted to say down here. Yeah, there's some other really techie stuff down there. I don't recommend you get into all that. Oh, I recommend that you get the right picture in the background. And so I'm going to just speak a second about that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because what we think is the right picture could be many things. You might think I need a picture of a home in that neighborhood. And you might think, Lord knows what you think, right? I have no idea. Maybe it's the bridge, local bridge. Usually I say a landmark, right? And some cities, we've got clients that, they live in a small town, 10, 20,000 people, and there isn't much, right? And so I set up an office because I set up the office. I set up one in Summit, New Jersey. And in Summit, I gave kind of this presentation. And I said, hey, everybody, you got to use Facebook. Here's how you do it. And here's how you customize your page. And they said, awesome. And a month later, the manager called me and said, Vince, we're running these ads and we're getting a bunch of leads and it's awesome. But the number one lead capture page is when we use this diner in the background. And I want to point this out because this is not something people would inherently think. But this is the diner on the main street of Summit, New Jersey. Been there for 50 plus years. So if you live in Summit, you know this. And I'm just pointing this out that it's not like the big luxury home in the area that gets people to click. It's, do I know that you know my area, or do you look like a national spam campaign that I'm about to sign up for?
You know what? An easy answer for this for the realtors, or a good idea, I think, would be go to the local park of that neighborhood that you're focusing on, and that park usually has a sign with the name of the park. Go stand by that sign holding your for sale sign. So now you're in the photo, and you have a local recognizable landmark. And it would be the like the North Oshawa house values, east, west, south, whatever area you work in.
And here's a little tidbit or tip. Colorful pictures and beautiful pictures actually work better.
Yep.
It kind of sounds right, but you'd be surprised. Some people will shoot really a flat-looking picture. I've sat with with a lot of agents, and we've looked at what's working, and the same street. I remember one client who's really a top producer was running photos of his downtown street, kind of straight down, and there's cars parked on each side of the street, and there's little shops on each side, just a typical American town. But the picture that had like the spring blooms when the trees were all flowering, and that picture got clicked on all the time. And he's like, it's just crazy. He tests them all because he's got all these photos. He's like, it's so weird that this just awesome photo gets people to click more. And when you think about it, when we're on Facebook, we're blasting through Facebook. People are on that thing. What is 71% of adults are on Facebook for 45 minutes a day, every day. And that's 70% of adults. So they're looking, and what slows them down is what looks cool, right? What looks nice. I'll stop and look at it. And then maybe they'll glance at your text and actually fill out your form. So these are the kinds of tools. Landing pages are awesome. FSBOs, homeowners, empty nesters. If you got a custom report that you want to get in front of people, use our custom free report and put the picture in there in the back, design the form you want, and then upload your document, and then they get it when they give you their contact info, right? I'm going to dive into two other things because a lot of people, don't ever see it. There's a tab here that says email and blog. As I mentioned, we create a blog for you, but we also have this signature bar right here that has all of this red button here, my reviews, get your home value, Kate Marco. These are all dynamic links that are built in your signature bar. So if you like this, it's going to have your banner. Just copy it for email and embed it in your Google Mail, your Gmail, or whatever you're using.
Oh,
right?
Cool.
Because now your email can actually capture some leads for you, right? And that's like a real point of listings to leads. My partner Scott was a real estate agent and then became a director of marketing for an office in the Bay Area. And so he kind of knows what agents do. They do so many activities. And we have really designed our tools to, if you're going to do that activity, capture a lead with it, right? If you're going to do a listing presentation, that's what listing LP means up here, let's capture a lead with that, right? If you're going to do a market report in your area, let's not have it be just a big thing we get to read or not, but let's have it be something dynamic that's going to capture leads. Now, one other tool that's on this listings page is hidden under this button here that says listing website. And all of you have it. If you have Zillow reviews, you can check a box in your profile and we'll give you a page showing all your Zillow reviews and all of your listings. And that's an awesome thing to have. But this is available for everybody too, and it's called a listing website. And this will have every listing in your account on this, okay?
Oh, like your featured, a featured page, featured listing.
Exactly. But it's everything you got, okay? Mm-hmm. And every time they click on a property, it opens a single property website. So you can sort of get the idea that there's lead capture over here for home values, there's home lead capture here driving them to your web pages, and then every listing you've got. Okay.
So see the URL up at the top? It says searchallproperties.com/ and then your name. Yeah. What we used to do for our for sale signs is we would have a sign writer at the bottom, and it had our website, www.com/whatever, /featured, and all of them would drive to this one page. So instead of driving people to the specific listing, we drove to the featured page, and now we had the power of like 16 listings all pointing to one URL. And that one listing may not fit their needs, but then it shows that we have a bunch of listings and maybe these ones do.
Exactly. Yeah. So let me point out, remember I was talking earlier about an agent that's down there kind of killing in Naples, Florida on Craigslist?
Yeah.
This is his page. And you all have, if you have an account with us, you all have this page. And before we got on the call, Dan, you were talking to another agent and you were talking about new construction. And you're saying, oh, it's a little bit weird how you get leads there. Sometimes it's not great. This guy here, this is his page. He created all of these links. And these are, most of them all get pre-approved today is a landing page. He just created a custom landing page in our platform. Okay. Selling your home yourself. What's that? Well, that's the Listings to Leads FSBO landing page. Okay. New construction, I think he's pointing people to just a simple lead capture on his Keller Williams site, right? And it doesn't have a whole lot. It's just like, if you want information, I can't see it because this box over here is, maybe extra. Yeah, just contact us. He used to have all the pictures will show up of all the view details. It just keeps everybody on this page, and if you have questions, you got to contact them. And it just goes on and on. Lease purchase option, he's got something. So whatever's going on in your business and how you're trying to build your business, you probably have a few strategies. You want to get them in one place, right? And then get this in front of people. So to your point, Dan, yeah, can you get this as a sign writer somewhere? What Neil does is something really interesting. He puts this on Craigslist. And I want to show you how he does that because it blew me away. As I mentioned, their office manager called me and said, this guy is generating 50 leads every day. And they're big into lead gen, so it kind of blew them away. If you go to the Fort Myers area, you can see what he's doing. And it's pretty dang simple. Just type in the word wolf and you'll see Wolfpack. And he puts on ads all the time. And if you click on an ad, it's in the apartment and housing area. And because in his MLS, he can run these ads without, there's very little rules on it. Just basically put the price and the bedroom and stuff like that. Sometimes he puts a picture, sometimes he doesn't, but he's always got ads on there, right? But the unique thing about every one of his ads is it says this Neil knows Naples. Now in the old days, you could click that link on Craigslist, but Craigslist made a massive change about 3 years ago, and that's not a clickable link. Yeah. So he bought a very simple to write link. He bought it on GoDaddy. And when you type that in, or if you do this, right click and go on it, it pushes you from that URL to this page.
Yeah.
And he captures today 50 leads a week from just Craigslist on this page.
Oh wow, that's a huge number. Go back. That's crazy, by the way, because this looks so dated. This page.
Exactly.
Go back to the Craigslist ad. So you've mentioned it, but you haven't gone into detail about the texting options that you guys have.
Yeah.
Well, I would include the texting call to action in and around here somewhere, because then it gives people, a lot of people are on their phone on these websites, and all they have to do is click the button and then text the keyword, and now you got an interactive lead.
Definitely. And our text function, you can sign up for it right here. It starts at $10 a month, and you get like 10 codes.
That's additional, by the way, for anybody who doesn't know. If you want to use texting, regardless of what plan you're on, it's $10 for that. That's cheap. Yeah. $10. Wait, $10 a month, and then is it like a per text cost as well, or how's that?
Yeah. So you get 10 unique codes.
Yeah.
So you could use 5 codes for listings like this, which should maybe be a sign writer, or maybe a Craigslist ad. We actually have a Craigslist template where it embeds the text code on it so that you just copy and paste it out there. Those text codes get embedded on the landing pages. So those big listing landing pages, it'll say, text this to that, right embedded in this page. So if people are looking at it on a smartphone, which on Facebook, I think the majority of all people look at Facebook on smartphones, then there's a function there to capture that lead, right? But we also integrate those, not that I can find it because I have so many things open, we integrate it with our property valuation plus page. So our listing landing page, we also integrate the text codes there. So you get 10 codes, and you can use them on either landing pages or you can use them on listings. And then there's also a 4-cent charge per lead. That's kind of given to us by the phone companies. Yep.
That's actually lower than average, because the average is 5 cents.
Yeah, so there's 3 and there's 5, and so it averages out to 4. Like 3 is for text, and 800 number is 5 or vice versa. And so it ends up averaging out to about 4 cents a lead.
That's
But
great for print media, like your newspapers, your bench bus ads, your direct mail flyers. It's amazing.
definitely.
On your for sale sign, even we used to use that on a for sale sign that said, what did it say? Oh yeah, it said text featured to 808080 or something like that, and then we
Yeah.
would get that info. There's a question: does it work in Canada as well? The texting?
That is a great question. I am not exactly positive. I think it does. I think it does, though.
Okay.
I don't think the texting does. I think the 800 number works.
Okay.
So there's an 888 number as well with it.
Got it. Okay, cool. And if it doesn't, guys, I have a couple options out there, anyways. And then another question: can you use existing company text programs? So I guess this person already has texting. Can it be integrated, or would they have to copy and paste it and like add it?
Yeah, you'd have to copy them. We don't have like an integration for a third party, but you could certainly take those codes and put it in your property description.
Yeah.
Wherever necessary, and it would flow through.
Okay, cool.
So there's one other thing, because you kind of mentioned your print campaigns, and I want to kind of just leave one thought, is that we have a lot of technology here, and when you get started with us, it's typically overwhelming for a lot of people. But when you get into it, you realize there's just so many things you can do with it. But the one thing that I notice a lot of clients get really excited about is obviously the newest and latest, greatest stuff we're doing, but taking some of their old school things that they've always been doing, like print campaigns, and tying them in with our new technology like text, right? But another thing to do, I want to point out to you, and I want to walk you through it. If you follow me through to the Mastermind group.
While you're doing that, there's a question: can you omit the QR code from the print material? Like, can you not?
No, great question. That's a great question. I have not heard that one, but it is a great question. I don't think you can.
Well, I got an answer. When you open it up in Microsoft Word, you can just hit delete on that photo.
Well, there, that makes sense. Okay.
But it won't do it automatically.
So yeah, let me show you something. Yeah, there isn't a spot. I don't think there's a spot. There might be, though. There's so many things that we do that I don't know every little answer everywhere. But inside our Mastermind group, there's a little kind of a little bar here, and there's a section that says photos. And if we click on photos, one of our clients, another KW agent, put in an example of something that he's routinely using. And I think you'll like this. And I'm bringing it up because you had mentioned print. And this guy was always doing print. And I've got a couple of stories of that. But this is a just listed postcard. So now he does just listed and just sold postcards. And your normal print stuff is like, you got your logo, you got your branding colors, and you got your info, and then there's your phone number and call me, right? And I know this guy's been doing this. Is actually in Ontario. He hand delivered this. I remember the first time he put this in our group, he hand delivered this, had some kids do it to, I think, 500 homes in a small area, and got 8 listing leads out of that, and gets listings out of this. And so now it's a routine part of his business. But notice on the back it says orchardhomevalues.com, and it's pointing to our landing page. So again, he bought a GoDaddy link. He pointed it to our big, ugly searchallproperties.com/property value /your name /whatever. And so now when people look at it, they're usually a homeowner or something. They're like, oh, great, interesting. But now there's really nothing to do but call you, except today they can actually flip this around and have an evaluation in seconds.
You could buy a redirect for each. So say you had so say I was in Oshawa, I could say northoshawahomevalues.com, east, west, like whatever your areas are, and they could all redirect to the same page. Because when you're hand delivering a flyer in a particular area, they tune into what's in it for me. So if you
Correct.
had their name in the URL, you're going to get way more traffic because to them it feels more relevant. That's
exactly true. In the States, people ask me, can I market county-wide? Over here, there's a place called Bucks County. Everybody knows Bucks County, Pennsylvania. But if my home is in a particular town, Bucks County means nothing to me. But if you say, Manayunk Homes for Sale or Manayunk Home Value, I know that's me. right? So that kind of story always applies.
Now, this is awesome stuff. If I know people, some people may have to go because. Hey, if you want to close more real estate transactions, get more buyer leads, and get more seller leads, click this button right here. It'll take you to our real estate group coaching page. Also, if you like this video and want more, you can subscribe by pressing this, or you can check out some of my past videos here. Enjoy!